Blog Show. Blog Show.
Welcome to the Blog Show. He's Dan, I'm Jamie. We're going to do our best to take you through the wild week that was in the world of sports blogging.
Yeah, we're going to slog through all of these underbellies of sports things. Jimmy, I wanted to ask you, who do you think should be the #1 team in college football right now?
Kansas, undefeated.
Well, I would say if you're judging based on coach waistline, definitely Kansas, for sure.
Or Maryland.
Mark Mangino is a large man, and bloggers, I think, love him for that reason.
Yeah, the Jayhawks world, you know, the world is their oyster. They're 10-0, #3 in the BCS. And it's gotten so ridiculous, and out of sorts, that Mark Mangino is even having photo galleries dedicated in his honor.
That's right. We looked at this one from Deadspin. Lots of nice pictures of the fat man. One of Deadspin's commenters notes that he has man breasts on top of his man breasts.
He looks fit. And as Will Leach pointed out, that's been careful, ladies, he's taken. And it's too bad that the Mangenius moniker has been taken already.
Well, that's true. I don't know.
Got nothing for that? No. Well, on the flip side of this success is Notre Dame's struggle, which brings us to history's greatest failures.
That's right.
As illustrated by Every Day Should Be Saturday.
That's right. And I like the kind of historical bent. And so he talks about, for example, the captain of the Hindenburg, Mort Lipschitz, the fire chief of Chicago, General Pickett, the famous Confederate general at Gettysburg.
Yes, and among them, Charlie Weiss, head coach of the 2007 Notre Dame Fighting Irish. It's gotten so bad for Notre Dame that they're looking at the game of the week this week against fellow lowly ranked Duke Blue Devils.
That's right. It's kind of a conundrum for sports fans because really you want to hate both of those teams. You want to hate Notre Dame, you want to hate Duke. The Nation of Islam sports blog kind of discussed this conundrum and, you know, tried to piece it out for readers. So the question is, do we favor Hitler or Stalin here? Do we favor pure unrepentant evil or unrepentant pure evil?
That's not exaggeration at all, but he comes down to this key point. Really, football means everything to Notre Dame and nothing to Duke. So for Saturday and Saturday only, we are all Blue Devils.
I can't root for Duke. I'm rooting for a tie.
You're going to root for a tie?
That's right.
Well, I don't think it's going to happen, Steins. But before we completely leave the world of college football, let's look back to last week when ESPN's College Game Day went to, was it Division III Williams College for the big arch-rival game against Amherst?
That's right.
And every week, the blog College Game Balls takes screenshots of all the signage that's at the game day set.
That's right. The best sign that we saw from last week was the Amherst QB is a virgin, which I guess means he's got untapped potential.
It hit closer home. Good one, untapped potential. I thought you were going to go with like a QB and like lacking protection or something like that.
Oh, no, that's good too.
Yeah, thanks. All right, well, we doubled up on the jokes. Let's move on to the NFL. And because I don't really feel comfortable talking about today's game so much, I'm a Redskins fan, it hurts. Let's pay homage to the stars of yesteryear with this vintage Diet Coke commercial.
#7, the case that you're having is the drink of the moon. It's playing ounces and lose Louis' lips. Shakes Eric's hips. So look out, Pepsi, the move is on. Now we're singing the Diet Coke song.
And I love the YouTubes. That one came from 100% injury rate and starring cameos. It was a veritable who's who of late 80s NFL stardom. Boomer Esiason, Warren Moon, Al Toon, Ronnie Lott, Lewis Lips, Shane Conlon. I guess Dexter Manley was busy that day.
That's right. Speaking of the late 80s and the Redskins, I guess two blogs noted that Joe Gibbs sort of tends to speak in these overwrought cliches. For example,
did you notice at every press conference you go to?
That's right. So two blogs kind of presented Joe Gibbs dictionaries this week. One of them was Jerry's Wheelhouse and the definition of fought our guts out, code for needed overtime to barely defeat a significantly below 500 team.
Well, actually, that could be easily confused for hard fought, which was a boring game littered with 3-and-outs and field goals where the Redskins ultimately backed into or out of a victory via some Redskins football.
That's right. We saw another similar dictionary on the Juice of Davenport blog, which also had a definition for fight our guts out, but
the brilliantly named Deuce of Davenport. Moving on to better times, let's check out the scene in Kansas City before last week's Chiefs-Packers game. And you're seeing that right, ladies and gentlemen. It's an 8-man beer bong known as Doc Ock, bringing rival fans together.
That's right. It's kind of, I mean, it warms the heart a little bit to see fans drinking together. We saw that on Arrowhead Addict, and I figure maybe for the next Democratic primary debate, they should have all the presidential candidates.
It does warm the cockles to see that scene. And Arrowhead Addict is so good that it almost makes me want to read about the Chiefs. I mean, that video even had Led Zeppelin playing in the background. You can't get better than that,
Well,
folks.
if you like the Chiefs, I guess you should take a look at Joe Sports Fan, which also had just an unbelievable mullet. You kind of wonder if it's fake or not.
Yeah, this is Joe Sports Fan's Fan of the Week, and that's Big Red, the best mullet in all of KC. And I like to add, Big Red rocks a Priest Holmes jersey better than Snoop Dogg. I mean, he's owning the Holmes jersey. It's kind of obscured by the mullet, but still.
Do you think that's Photoshopped? Do you think that's real?
I'd like to believe it's real.
Cool.
Otherwise, a little piece of me would die.
Awesome. Well, let's totally shift gears, go over to the NBA. I've always thought that aside from a last-minute game-winning shot from an actual player, the next best moment at an NBA game is when someone sinks one of those halftime shots. And this was a particularly good one that we saw over on AOL's Fan House.
And that bit of random YouTube magic is where OMG WTF happens. You don't get that. What amazing happens? OMG WTF. It's like internet blog acronym speak.
I got you. Unbelievable shot by that dance team member.
Yeah, that was very nice. Well, sticking with the NBA, we talked a lot during the draft about a site called Draft Kevin Durant. It's a Trailblazers fan who was deeply disappointed when they drafted Greg Oden, but he hasn't given up. He's hanging on with this form of silent protest.
Yeah, it's really kind of a noble effort. He went on the Blazers' own website and made a Kevin Durant jersey, number 35 and everything. And he wore that to a game. I thought it was really touching. It kind of brings to mind all of those Miami Heat fans who made those Juwan Howard jerseys back in the day.
Oh, back when they offered him $98 million and the Wizards were like, no, we're paying him $105 million.
That's right,
Let's keep him here in D.C.
That's right.
Yeah, that tore my heart out. But anyways, on the Kevin Durant tip, he actually has a brother who's a baller as well. This was brought to our attention by ScottVanPeltStyle.com. His brother Tony is a junior forward at Towson University.
Yeah, he had a nice season opening game. The Tigers won. He had 9 points, 4 rebounds. Good for him, doing better than the Blazers.
How about that?
And the Sonics.
Moving from our favorite ballers to our favorite bloggers, the Hype Guy from thehypeguy.com. He made this Gilbert t-shirt that says, "If no one votes for me, I'm not going to do any more blogs."
This was a t-shirt that Gilbert said he wanted to have made last year at the All-Star break.
Right.
The Hype Guy made it for him. I delivered it to him. And this year has actually showed up on NBA.com.
Yeah, on NBA.com. Thanks to you, Agent Steins delivered the seed to Agent Zero. Nice work, Steins.
Interesting metaphor. Speaking of Gilbert, I guess Gilbertology and a lot of other blogs brought to our attention that Gilbert actually won the best celebrity blogger in the last week.
Nice.
Great honor for Gilbert. That's
Top
a ding
of the
for
resume.
Gilbert's blog, ding for Gilbertology, and he beat some Star Trek nerd, I guess.
Yeah, it's Will Wheaton. He beat Will Wheaton and Kanye West, who had no idea he was up for the award. And also, while we're here on the Weblogs Awards subject, I'd like to say congratulations to Kissing Susie Colbert for successfully campaigning and winning for the second straight year. To see all of the Weblog Award winners, just head to weblogawards.org.
I've got nothing else to say.
Got nothing else? So there's one other thing. If you'd like to be a Blog Show intern or you'd like to wear any of these fashion-forward Blog Show t-shirts, just send us an email at blogshow@comcastsportsnet.com.
Seriously, do you think I should wear this to a Redskins press conference?
I'd like to hear the Gibbs reaction to the hard-fought t-shirt. What do you think he would be like? No, actually, son, that should say extremely hard-fought?
Maybe so. Maybe so. Before we leave, I guess we do want to mention the YouTube of the week. This came to us from SI's Hot Clicks, and it's a really contrasting homage to the behinds of referees from a whole bunch of different sports. It's awesome.
Try to transition out of this one, Thaler.
Blog Show was brought to you by the good people at Senate Insurance.
Kiss, Marple. Just kiss.